Alright, we are back. I really needed a little bit of tea and honey. Just to make amends with that, what we just saw. Alright, well, nobody told me that it was going to be a cakewalk to visit the cemetery in this game of ghosts, but, you know. Anyways, the original graveyard was much smaller than it is today, because of its proximity to the waterway. It has been used as a quarantine location since its history, once for immigrants from England in 1665 who had developed the bubonic plague on their journey across the Atlantic, and once for workers of the Panama Canal who were sick with yellow fever in 1904. In both cases, the victims were housed near the graveyard. When they died in large numbers, expanded it. You could probably just make the graveyard as their own. So many people die of the plague, it's a graveyard all of its own. Right, now I can travel so much more efficiently. Wish you'd thought of that sooner. Almost got the full stop. Those cancer sticks are going to drive Ronan to an early grave. I know it's something he enjoys, but I had to confront him today. I said, if you care about living into old age with me, you'll give up these damned things. It said he'd given up plenty for me. I'm glad that should be enough. Not exactly the most sensitive reply. But Ronan is Ronan. I think he never imagined he would grow to old age. Not with the life he lives. Spread around. Speaking of, I haven't seen Agatha in a long time now. There's one more. Maybe I'll just have a little look around and see if I can find it in a second.
Ronan! I heard screams and... It's good that you're okay.
Well, I'm still dead.
Oh, you found something.
Yeah, I did. Bell killer drowned the girl in the lake and let her body float downriver.
My mother was right. This is a Bell killer case. Did you find anything about my mom? Memory residue or something?
Sorry, kid. And it's a good thing you didn't see what he did to the girl. This guy is... he's sadistic. One weird thing is that he confronted the girl about a contract before he offed her.
Contract? I don't think I've seen anything about a contract. Wait. Another case, possible Bell killer survivor. Iris Campbell. Diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, incoherent ramblings about persecution, and a contract.
Again.
Look at that.
And where does it say where she is?
It just says Lux Eterna. Is it a place?
Yeah. Lux Eterna is a mental hospital.
Of course it is. Okay, ready to go?
Actually, go on ahead. I need to visit someone here.
Oh. So I'll meet you at the hospital. Worst nightmare than this.
So, we'll be together soon.
watching, Leah. I got some bad news.
Don't worry, bro. She already knows.
There's nothing you could have done. Wait, no, don't. There's one more plaque to be found. Forgive me, but I don't really feel like leaving things undone. That's, after all, the whole premise of this. Ghosts. We don't leave things undone. Need to investigate that as a game to know that. A little peek around. See what we can find this time.
Come on, man.
That wasn't that far enough.
Can't be that.
Ah, there it is. Fantastic. The airlock. Something else there? Alright. Anyways, without further ado. Wait, okay, I'll find it. Alright, let's see. Park, gas station, score. Oh, I almost have all the pieces from my life, apparently. About to kill her, she was the righteous thought. There. No, never mind. There we are.
I've always been a kleptomaniac. It's not that I was lazy or anything, I was just bored. Stolen goods were always more interesting to me. I could just look at whatever it was and relive the exciting memory of the theft itself. Sometimes I was worried that I'd get caught. Other times I was riding an adrenaline rush. But it wasn't until the last thing I ever stole that I truly felt afraid. I remember it like it was yesterday, despite the years I've been trying to forget it. My friends and I snuck into a graveyard to drink a few beers like we normally did on a boring weeknight. We headed for our usual spot, an old run-down mausoleum. Only this time it was locked. It seems someone had finally taken an interest in the dead guy it belonged to and didn't appreciate us partying there. So we split up and went looking for a new place. Finally, I found another mausoleum. One of its walls had begun to crumble away, but I squeezed through. The inside looked the same as all the others, except for one thing. Lying there on top of the central tomb was a dusty frame that contained a wreath made of elaborately braided rope. Knowing that antiques were valuable, I took it. I figured I'd wait a week before selling it in case anyone reported it stolen. So when I got home, I hid it at the top of my closet and went to sleep. That night, I had horrible nightmares of a dead-faced hag with rotting flesh. No matter how many times I woke up, she always found her way back into my dreams. Over the next few days, the nightmares got worse. I'd wake up only to find clumps of my hair missing and my scalp bleeding. I chalked it up to stress and feelings of guilt about stealing from the graveyard. So the next day I went to a pawn shop to sell the wreath and be done with it. I could feel a shiver run down my spine when the pawnbroker informed me that the wreath wasn't made from rope at all. It was actually made from the human hair of a deceased loved one, as was customary in the late 1800s. I wanted the nightmares to stop, so I sold it to him. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. Now, I spend my time trying to track it down, hoping to return it so I can finally get some sleep.
You poor bastard. A solid comeuppance, huh? I mean, I can't really say I'm happy with it.
Get your ass over here. Hey.
Yeah, have fun, boys. Have fun. Damn, wondered if I could just beam around. Hopping around the place, eh? Nothing really saps me of, hope and motivation and all those jolly little good feelings that seem something so hopeless as them. Humans always have troubles with accepting the truth. But when they die, about their flaws, about their failures. It's strange to be with a man who wears his life on his skin. I traced my fingers over a dollar sign with fire around it. I had no idea what it meant. He told me he got it from his father after he stole money for the first time. Commemorating the theft, his father was proud of him. Having him admit to a crime like that was a bit of a shock, I'll admit. I think he's self-aware.
Judgment rains down on the unaware.
Thunder and lightning. Let's go. There we are. Yes, the final piece. Let's have a little story time, shall we?
I've all seen them by the side of the road. These unkept, smudged, hopeless people holding cardboard signs. Sometimes they have props. Baby stroller, a pet, gasoline can. Something to lend credence to the thin fiction that they need money for something other than booze. It was a man with a need gas sign with the red gas can on the ground that I saw when I drove into Salem 6 unlucky years ago today. Tried to ignore him, not making eye contact, but I was stuck at a red light and pretending he wasn't there was getting really awkward. So I reached into my pocket and pulled out $2, rolling down my window just a crack. Here you go, buddy. I pushed the money through the opening of the window. That was when, for the first time, I really looked at his face, or what was left of his face. It was a single eyeball just looking back at me, bulging out of a charred skull. I was absolutely frozen in terror until the blackened shape of uncovered finger bones reached out to take the money. And that's when I let it fall to the ground and slammed on the accelerator. I didn't even care that the light was red. In the time since then, I've picked up pieces of the legend. A shell-shocked war veteran, unemployable and alcoholic, became a familiar sight in Salem, begging by the roadside. Citizens stopped giving him money, thinking he would just move on to a bigger city. He responded by creating one of the most traumatic spectacles in town history, setting himself alight in the middle of town during evening rush hour. Ever since that roadside encounter, I've been seeing little wisps of flame out of the corner of my eye, like brief flashes that are gone as soon as I turn my head, sending nauseated chills through my whole body. Is this tormented spirit following me now? Whether he intends it as a blessing or a curse, I just want to be as far as possible from this horrifying specter.
I can't blame you. Alright, I'm not going to pick up every little tidbit of trinkets and information. Let's move on.
Mental hospitals. One place torture is considered for your own good. If their experiments ever succeed in restoring a person's sanity, they better hope it was at the expense of the person's memory. Ready? Relax, we're out of the graveyard.
And into crazy town? A big improvement. People who see things nobody else can see end up living here.
Not that crazy, come on.
Okay, I'll help you get inside, but...
But what? Look, if we're gonna ask this girl Iris about this contract, the asking needs to be done by a living person, right?
Just remember who opens the door for you, tough guy.
Yeah. All right, kid. You're up. Now just find a way to get Iris's room number.
Hi. I need your help. I'm looking for a friend.
Visiting hours are over.
Right. But she was with the cops.
Then go talk to the cops.
See, I did, and they said that she was a danger to herself, and...
I can't help you.
All right. Just need to stall her, okay? We have to figure out what her weaknesses are. Maybe these things on her desk will help us.
Oh. Low blows, alright? Good. Classic, very, very overused piece.
He's most likely a man of imposing size and stature. Someone who's accustomed to violence. Heinous acts in his past define him to the point where he no longer knows who he truly is.
Huh. For some reason it starts to feel like we're actually getting very close. A bizarre death that looks to turn our mental hospital in Salem may be connected to a string of murders throughout the town. A source confirms that a female mental patient was found dead, strangled with a cloth bathrobe belt. It might be the first of the recent murders to be committed in such a secure area. It means no one is safe anywhere, said a terrified woman who had spoken. Sorry, that was not a very womanly voice, I think, who had spoken directly to a witness. I heard there were all kinds of drawings on the walls in the cell, and the bell symbol might have been there. I'm sure it was him. Oh. So looking forward to that story. Because, you know, mental hospitals are all sunshine and lollipops. Alright, I think we've got it.
Kiddo, I hate being here and wondering if you're okay. You're all I have left. Just like this girl's friend is all she has left.
Sorry. I know how hard it can be when someone depends on you.
What's your friend's name?
Iris Campbell.
Oh.
Yes. It looks like your friend Iris is here. Everything's gonna be okay.
Thanks. I feel better.
Hold tight, kid. I got this. Just need to get my eyes on her computer screen.
I love it. Just saw her crawling away. High security ward. Okay. Electroshock therapy. Scheduled for tonight. Poor thing. Delusions, hallucinations, paranoid schizophrenia. I knew someone with such a diagnosis. It's cruel.
She's in room 216. We gotta find it quick, Joy. She's scheduled for electroshock. All right, kid. Coast is clear.
No one has been able to solve the mystery of the Bell Killer in Salem, not even the mystery of the symbol itself. Since there seems to be no bell at the scene of each crime, could it be that the killer is leaving an autograph of sorts, a statement of identity? If it has to do with his origins, the logical conclusion would be that the killer originally hails from Philadelphia, another city rich in history, and home of the most famous bell in America. But are police willing to consider this bold approach if it means solving the case and saving dozens of lives? Wait a... Just don't try and guilt the case, Try and ham-fist it.
A bed.
Okay, just hang on. Dedicated to the victims of the great Spanish influenza epidemic unleashed within this war in 1918, may their souls find peace that were denied them life. Guess we'll see, won't we? Following a strident editorial on these very pages that question the ability of the Salem Police Department to competently investigate the Bell Killer case, lead investigator Lieutenant Javier Rex Reyes announced that 6 additional officers have been assigned exclusively to the case. While unavailable for direct comment, Reyes was quoted in a recent SPD press release as saying, "In a department of this size, this represents an enormously significant shift of resources which should reassure citizens of the gravity of this case and our resolve to bring it to a conclusion." Well, imagine then that we're just walking through here and there's just a flood of uneasy spirits from decades and decades of torture and...
Iris is due for shock therapy in 15 minutes.
Like, fry your brain shock therapy? Oh shit.
Oh shit is right. Let's get moving.
Damn it, I did it again.
Another camera. Get on it.
Another one of those. We have so good fond memories of those, do we not? If it works, reducing someone to a state of infantilism.
What if I just borrowed the helicopter and left a little note? Mice can slip under doors, cracks. It's all just concentration, discipline. I have time to practice.
Yeah. Let's have a look down.
See that camera?
Getting the living.
I'm not as invisible as you held me out.
A cop got killed. Tonight? Is this TV going on the fritz again?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I forgot that it all happened tonight. Come on, get going, Joy. In a shocking new discovery, our staff has found compelling evidence that the recent brutal murders in Salem repeat another unsolved killing spree from 1972 to 73. Like the current spree, the killings were all unconventional, bizarre, and unsolved, and they all bore the mark of a bell. Not as prominently as the recent murders, but definitely a similar signature style mark. While Salem police were unwilling to comment on any relationship to the cold case file, the evidence is overwhelming that a serial killer has returned to Salem to wreak a new reign of terror. Or a copycat has done his research. Alright. This could be a more than 50-year-old kind of... Oh. Torchlight. Yes. A more than 50-year-old individual. I mean, that doesn't put Baxter out of the limelight.
The thing to understand about Mrs. Gwynn is that her father used to become violently angry when she would walk in front of the TV during sporting events.
I don't see what that has to do with...
Any kind of anger, but particularly male anger, is really a trigger point for her. So I realize that dealing with patients can be a frustrating business, especially when they are on medication, and they're less responsive. But you have to be careful.
But she gets all, I don't know, crazy.
Yeah, look around you.
Why so mad?
Fantastic people.
I'm just doing my job. Is this guy gonna get it, even if I explain? I hate to be this guy's dog.
So close to just walking straight into hell. You know? Well, we're going to be...
These lights, God, these lights. My great work will begin soon.
Alright. We'll uncover the secrets of this mental institution very soon. So, until then, thank you for joining me, darling. I'm Lucifer, and I'll be seeing you soon. Farewell.